Welcome, hallowed guests. In today's episode, we're just going to discuss a bit about some of my new house that we just recently moved into. Look at the doorknobs and the detail, that woodwork. I love it so much. We actually don't know the age of our house, but I'm planning on turning this porch into a cabin-like area just because I love cabins. Look at that stain work. I'm going to be putting probably a wood stove if I can in here. Now as we walk this way, you will see this beautiful wood and doorknobs. Like, it's just gorgeous. Look at that. I'm pretty sure that was a cloak closet at one point. Ah, the sweet sound of my heart closing off to the world. All right, so I just want to focus a bit on the door here and talk about it. Like, look at that. It has some frosted glass. I'm not sure if it's original, I'm assuming. And if you look closely, you will see that it has a double lock system on here. I cannot wait to get that shined up, polish, and see what it actually looks like when the sun is gleaming off of it. Get that yucky, gross paint off of it. Actually, the paint has made the doors really hard to close. So all the doors have these horrible hooks in them to keep them closed, because every time you put paint on, you're adding a layer on there, and old doors were usually made to fit that specific frame. Most doors actually are meant to fit those frames because sometimes the house shifts, and sometimes they're just custom built to that door frame. So I cannot wait to take off the paint off the original woodwork in this house and see what lies underneath it, what kind of wood is underneath it. My assumption is either oak or pine, but I'm really excited. I just love this front door so much. I lived in old houses when I was younger, and none of them had this amazing of detail and attention to doors. So really excited. I just wanted to show the door from a different angle and a little bit closer at those double locks. So one of them is a deadbolt and the other is for the actual lock. We think we found a key that might actually open it, but it's so painted that we can't actually get any of the mechanisms to move. So I'm not going to wreck the key or the lock just to attempt it before I actually have to take it apart and clean it up. Now we're in the hallway, and this is right when you walk in. Right where I'm standing, there actually used to be this really ugly panel board closet. My father and I, we kicked it out. That's how we got it out. And then we used hammers because we just moved in. But I love this pendant light. It was one of the things that noticed my eye, caught my eye. That I noticed first about the house. Sorry, I have ADHD, so sometimes I'm mashing sentences together. This is also the newel post. So this, I'm pretty sure, is original to the house, but I'm going to carve an owl to go on top of it eventually because my child loves owls. And I'm going to hopefully strip everything, just as long as they didn't completely damage, and then, I don't know, use putty to fix any damages. They cut off a rosette here. We're not really sure. Maybe the stairs have been changed. We have to find the actual layout of the house, the original, just to see what was going on there. This is the front door. And it's my first day with my human hands. I love the front door, both of them, the glass panel door. I'm pretty sure it's either fir or pine. I'm not really that great with wood yet. And this is the back of the front door. And sorry about the lighting. I live in gloom. I love the doorknobs. They're just so intricate. That's where that ugly closet used to be, but there's actually linoleum and carpet on top of the original. So this house has paneling everywhere, and especially in the hallway. We're going to take it down, but behind the paneling, we noticed when my father and I were taking down the closet that they kept some of the original trim. So we're hoping that they kept it everywhere. We just make life easier. But we don't think that the wall between the living room and the hall is the original, just because there's so much paneling. Something must have happened. Either they were adding electrical, we don't know. But I love this picture because you can really see the pendant light, and I love it. It illuminates my soul on those really dark and dreary days, which is most of my life, again. But they had carpet everywhere. We're assuming because it was an older couple that lived here for over 50 years, and sadly they passed away. But not sadly for us. We don't have a cemetery on our property, which makes me, again, sad. It's a roller coaster here. But we know they must have been happy if they lived in this house for 50 years, so we're hoping that it does us justice. I have huge plans for this hallway. I'm going to paint the ceiling somehow. I'm going to do a lot of, hopefully, plaster work and carvings. Maybe carve some bats into certain areas. Maybe I'll put one in that little corner right above the door. Have just a bat hanging down there. And see who comes into my house and gets really uncomfortable. That's my goal, is that everybody comes into my house and they sit down, they feel a little bit comfortable, but then they actually start looking around and seeing that I have fossils, bones, and other stuff around, and they start to get uncomfortable. My goal is to make them like falsely comfortable. They fall into it and then they look around and they really see what's around, and it freaks them out a little bit. Just that way I don't have to make an excuse for certain guests to leave, and they also don't want to overstay their welcome. But that's just me. Anyway, I just wanted to also show these hinges. I'm pretty sure they're from the 20s, but I can't be too sure against. This is all a learning process, and something that I just recently wanted to get into. So I'm really excited, and I hope you are too. And that is going to be it for this video. Thank you for checking in. And I'm really excited to get started on this house. I'm not totally sure where it's going to take me. I have some crazy ideas, like having one bedroom turned into box 5 from Phantom of the Opera. It's going to be a bedroom, so it's not going to be a 100% match. I also am planning on doing a bedroom inspired by the Addams Family, and maybe turning my basement into a Egyptian tomb. That's a couple of ideas that I have, as well as a whole bunch of other little side projects. But thank you for checking in, and I'll talk to you next time. Thank you.